Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In this video, we begin with a post from the subreddit Am I the A-hole with additional context from OP's comments and an update, and then we move on to some malicious compliance. So like usual, if you just want to move around the different parts of the video, you can always use the timestamps right below it. Now let's get started with that first story. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user PastaSill. Am I the a-hole for losing my temper at sister-in-law after she ruined the meal I made? My sister-in-law, Ashley, is, for lack of a better word, obnoxious. She constantly does whatever she wants, even when you ask her not to. She thinks she's right above everyone else, even when she's dead wrong, and she's just got this very stereotypical baby sister attitude where she acts like she can do whatever she wants and nobody is allowed to be mad at her because she's the baby. Yes, that's something she regularly says. My husband says she's the youngest of their family, so her acting that way is normal. But I pointed out I'm the youngest of my family and I've never acted that way. I don't like my sister-in-law, but I've been polite and kept a peaceful relationship for my husband's sake. Until today. Today was the first time since 2019 that my husband or I have been able to see our small friend group in person. We all got our shots 2 months ago and decided to meet up finally for dinner. I cooked while our friends either pitched in ingredients, made appetizers, or brought wine. I made pasta ravioli by hand, which was hard. I made enough for me, my husband, and our friends. But after they arrived and we all caught up while I was finishing the food, my sister-in-law showed up. She let herself in and greeted everyone happily. They know her and said hi, but I subtly asked my husband what she was doing here. Turns out he'd mentioned the gathering to her and he guessed she assumed she was invited? I told him to tell her to leave because she can't just invite herself like this. He said that would be humiliating for her and asked if she could stay. I was annoyed, but agreed. Things were fine at the start. I had a few sips of wine to relax and was about to plate everyone's food at the kitchen island and bring it to them, but forgot Parmesan, so went to get it. I heard my sister-in-law say she'd help bring the food to the table. I said no thanks and to stay seated. My back was to her and she said something I missed because of the loud clang of a pot hitting the floor. I heard everyone gasp and I closed my eyes. I knew what happened but didn't want to look. When I did, I just started crying. Hours of work splattered on the floor. Sister-in-law said it was okay. It was just some pasta, I'll buy more. I lost it. I called her a stupid bitch that ruined the entire dinner because she refuses to listen. She started boo-hooing and I told her to shut up and leave. She ran out crying and I sat down to cry too. Our friends consoled me and my husband tried to say I went too far, but our friends told him he was an a-hole and my sister-in-law was in the wrong. They helped clean and we ordered pizza. But after they left, my husband and I were flooded with calls from his family, saying I was a horribly spoiled brat who made their baby cry over some stupid food. Now I'm just crying and feeling like garbage. Did I go too far? I don't usually get so angry or curse. Am I the a-hole? Not at all, OP. You are no way near the a-hole in this situation. First of all, she invited herself. Who does that, really? Anyways, you were gracious enough to let her stay and share the food that you made with her. You told her that you didn't want help as this was your dinner party and you asked her to stay seated, but she did it anyways and ended up dropping all the food on the floor. Now, I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but the fact that she did not apologize and instead dismissed your efforts by saying that it was just pasta and that she could buy some more kinda makes me think it was. As for your husband, he picked the wrong side. He should have been trying to comfort you as well, just like your friends did, and not be defending his sister because she's the baby or whatever. Anyways, OP, you are not the a-hole, and in my opinion, your husband should be defending you from his family. And what do you guys think? Let me know your opinion in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Accomplished Ruin 25 says, you are the a-hole, but a justified a-hole. From her perspective and her brother's, your husband's, you went nuclear. She's highly entitled and been brought up this way. You can't change her. And from your story, her family still continues to encourage her. Maybe she's clumsy, maybe she spilled it on purpose, but either way, you're not going to unspoil the food. This may not be your hill to die on, but if she glamours in being the baby, play along. Oh no, no wine for you, you're still a baby. No, no thanks, I don't need help. This is a big girl thing. Maybe when you're bigger. Sorry, this dinner is for grown-ups and you're a baby. I'm incredibly petty though. And Opie responds, this actually made me smile a bit, thanks. Part of me really wants to do that to her. See how long she lasts before she throws a tantrum. Filker Dave says, not the a-hole. Made their baby cry? She needs a serious wake-up call, and if she cried over it, then good. She needs to get some consequences. My kid's sister is the youngest, and she's mature, thoughtful, and courteous. There's no reason for your sister-in-law to be doing this. Tiny Rascal Saurus says, not the a-hole. You overreacted in a moment of high temper, but she inserted herself into a dinner uninvited, disregarded the hostess's wishes, and then downplayed her disaster. You had every right to be upset, and she decided to then turn the family against you. She's the a-hole. And Opie responds, I don't usually flip out like that. I'm very level-headed, but seeing my hours of hard work dumped on the floor just broke me. Opie's edit. My husband said he understands I'm upset the food was wasted, but he doesn't think my outburst was warranted and was actually kind of extreme. Tomorrow is his day off, and I told him he's going to be making the dish like I did. By hand and on his own, and then at the end we'll see if he thinks my outburst was unwarranted. Well, even though the community doesn't necessarily agree if Opie was the a-hole or not, everybody agrees that the sister-in-law sucks. And at this point, I'm sure you want to know how the husband did with the ravioli. But before we take a look at the update, I wanted to give you guys a little bit more context that I got from Opie's responses to other comments. First, I'll just say that she's 31. My husband is closest in age to her and puts up with her stuff the least, especially after we got together. I think sometimes his family just wears him down. Also, I'm the baby of my family, youngest of all my siblings and cousins, so I'm the youngest. And my family would have looked at me like I'd sprouted another head if I'd ever acted even half as bad as my sister-in-law does. It baffled me when I first saw her parents and older siblings act like it was nothing. I know this is mean to say, but once my little nieces and nephews, all between the ages of 12 and 15, came to visit us for the weekend, and my sister-in-law came over and none of them liked her. Watching her interact with them was weird because she was clearly trying to pull the cool older kid card or whatever, and it was just bizarre to see a 30-year-old woman act this way. My oldest nephew said she was cringe right to her face, and I had to not laugh. I was already annoyed that I was going to have to take one ravioli from everyone so my sister-in-law could eat too. Because while I'd made about 3 extra just in case 1 or 2 fell apart or burned or whatever, it wasn't enough for a 7th person. But then she dropped the entire pot, and I swear, if I hadn't started crying, I'd have killed her. Seeing my hours of hard work dumped on the floor just broke me. I don't understand why she was trying to take the whole pot to the table in the first place. I had plates set out to fill and serve to everyone on the island. All she had to do was stay seated for once. I just assumed it was an accident, but now that I'm thinking about it, she picked up an entire pot of pasta to bring to the table, where there was nowhere to sit it or anything. Now, this isn't the first time she's broken or damaged, etc. something, because she refuses to listen to those around her. I don't know why she insists she has to touch everything. Some days, I just want to scold her like my nieces and nephews. Look with your eyes and not your hands. Okay, now we've got all the information that OP has given the community. So let's move on with the update to see how the husband did with the ravioli and if anything else happened. Welp, my husband made pasta for the first time today, and it went much as I'd anticipated. He was all confident and, "It'll be easy," during the first 30 minutes, but towards the end of the first hour, that disappeared as the burn in his arms really set in from making enough dough for almost 60 ravioli. I did not lift a finger to help him knead, since I didn't get any help when I did it. After the dough was done and wrapped up in the fridge, he made the filling, which took another 40 or so minutes. Then the dough was brought out and he had to start crafting the ravioli all by hand after rolling the dough out. Lord, that went for ages. Just rolling some dough out, cutting out squares, filling them, and putting the top on. Rinse and repeat until the dough and filling were all done. All in all, the entire process from start to finish for him on his own took a little over 4 hours. Vindication smiley face. And that's with us not actually cooking any of the ravioli. Also, he didn't make any sauce or cook any shrimp for the ravioli to be served in or with. Additionally, he didn't prepare any salad to go with it. And when I told him this, that there was still more to do, he almost started crying. He started saying sorry at the 1 hour mark and hasn't stopped apologizing since. We had a long talk about his sister and the dinner she ruined, the other times she's pulled similar incidents, there's a lot, and how he and his family always let her get away with it. He says he knows how they treat her isn't normal and he doesn't like it, but was raised to just go with the flow regarding Ashley. But he said he's going to call her and tell her we need some space from her for now. Another update? My husband just got a message from his cousin of Ashley laughing and bragging about intentionally spilling the pasta to teach me a lesson for being such a snobby bitch. A handful of you all thought she did it on purpose, but I didn't actually think she did until hearing her admit to it. I have never seen my husband this pissed off before. And there you go, Opie's husband gained perspective on why OP was so pissed, and he learned how to make ravioli, which is great. And also, the sister did it on purpose, so she definitely sucks. But the good thing is that OP and her husband are gonna put some space between them and the sister-in-law. So on that note, OP, I wish you all the best. Thanks for sharing. And now, we move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user GreyWoman7. I was told I had to wear a bra, so I did. This happened last week. I was swimming laps at an indoor pool near my house. I am a woman who has had a double mastectomy without reconstruction. My chest is flat. I'm totally comfortable with how I look, but prefer for my scars to be covered in public. As far as swimming goes, women's suits have extra material to accommodate typical chest, so when I wear them, they're baggy. For backyard swimming, I just use a couple of safety pins to keep it in place. For lap swimming, it balloons open like a parachute full of water and creates so much drag that it's difficult to swim. Tight competition swimsuits don't have enough coverage for the way the scars wrap around my sides under my arms. To get around this, I wear running shorts and a tight-fitting, full-coverage synthetic fabric dark-colored tank top. It works great. Last week, I was approached as I left the pool facility by a worker. He said that they had received a complaint that a woman in the pool was wearing a shirt, which is allowed, but no sports bra underneath. He then said their policy requires women who are not in swimsuits to have sports bras under their shirts. He told me that the policy started when they had a problem where a woman would come in to swim and only wear a thin white shirt and no bra in the pool during family swim hours. I explained politely that I've had a double mastectomy and do not need a bra. I said that swimsuits don't fit me and my top is very dark and not see-through. Plus, even if it was see-through, all everyone could see are scars. He said he understood and felt bad, but the management requires that the dress code be followed. I explained how I was much more covered up than anyone else in the pool, and in fact was wearing exactly what he was minus the whistle. He was in shorts and a tank top. There were guys in there with just tight-fitting swim bottoms on and women in bikinis. I look Amish next to them. He again said he was sorry but couldn't make an exception to the rules. I asked for the rules in writing and he gave me a printout that did say what he was telling me. This brings us to yesterday. I dug a sports bra out of a bin of old clothes and brought it with me. I wore the same shorts and top otherwise. When I got in the water, I put the band of the bra around my head with the straps sticking up like bunny ears. People in the other lanes got a kick out of it once I explained what I was doing. I started warming up with my kickboard thinking the guy would come over and we would sort this nonsense out. Well, a lady in business clothes comes over and tells me I need to take the bra off of my head. I would like to say here that this was an adult lap swim. There were no kids in the pool area. I explained it all to her and said I was following the rule to the letter. I was wearing a bra, which is all that is required. We went back and forth with her saying I knew it had to be worn normally. I said I couldn't wear it the way others do because I don't have anything to fill it and it would ride up to my chin while swimming without anything to hold it in place. She said I could use skin-safe glue. Yeah, no, I'm not going to glue unnecessary garments to my body and told her as much. I finally said that unless she could state the rule I was breaking, that I would like to continue with my workout so I could get home to my kids and let the babysitter go home. She walked away. I swam for an hour with that bra perched on my head. Lots of readjusting it and once retrieving it from the bottom of the pool, then showered and went home. This morning I checked my email, which is linked to my membership at the Aquatic Center, to find a message from her. They will not be changing their policies, but I have been granted a special exception to the rule provided I continue to wear non-see-through tops. I wish they would have just gotten rid of the silly bra rule, but I'll take this, and if I ever see another woman struggling with their swimsuit over a flat chest, I'll let them know they can wear something more comfortable. Well, OP, you did follow the rule to the letter like you said, so there's no complaining on their end. Thanks for sharing and take care, OP. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.